Hi guys, today we're going to be working on these shattered glass nails. This look has been all over lately and I finally got my hands on some cellophane, so if you'd like to see how I did my version, just stay tuned. Alright, so before I even get started with the manicure, I want to go ahead and get my cellophane ready. I don't want to be trying to cut out little tiny triangles with wet nails or with tacky half-dry nails. So I went to Michael's yesterday. It's conveniently right next to Sally's. And they did not have the sheets of cellophane, but they had these rolls. They're kind of like wrapping paper rolls. And I picked up a lighter cellophane and a darker cellophane. They're both iridescent, although I think you could get a pretty cool effect with a solid color also. And I also went ahead and did myself a little test swatch here. And if I zoom in here so you guys can see a little more, they really differ over light colors and over dark colors. I just used black and white. This side, as you can see, as it kind of pokes over the edge there, is the lighter color, and this side is the darker color. So you're going to get a lot different effect depending on the polish you use, and you can kind of see this last one on both of them was kind of crinkled rather than smooth, and that created another effect also. So I think for today I'm going to be going with smooth pieces, but as you can see I have quite a bit of cellophane, so maybe I'll try a crinkled look down the road. So the rolls are kind of unwieldy. I'm going to cut off a strip of the lighter color, and then I'll show you how I'm going to cut out my triangles. So I've got a strip of cellophane, and I've got a little bottom of a paper cup, because unless you want them going all over the place, you're going to want something to catch them as you cut them. And how big you make them is up to you. I've seen them with really huge shards. I've seen them with very small shards. And I'm just going to go and start kind of cutting from each side, mainly going for triangles, but a couple kind of more trapezoid shapes also. And I'm going to keep going until my strip is all cut up. I have a couple other strips, but basically just try to make sure that I have enough for all my nails when I get started. And as you know, I always like to have, some extras in case they get stuck somewhere or it's not a shape that I like. Make sure that I just have enough for me to work with. So I'm going to do a variety of sizes, a variety of, angles, and then I'll get to actually doing the manicure once I take my existing manicure off. I've taken off my old manicure. You always want to start out with clean, dry nails and then a base coat. I'm still using up my stash of Nail Life Gripper. You can use whatever your favorite base coat is. Next, you want to go ahead and apply your base color. I'm using Orly Liquid Vinyl. You can use any black, or really there's no rule saying you have to use black. You could use any color you want, but as I showed in the first part, not all colors are going to have the same result. So if you have a darker color versus a lighter color, you're going to get a little bit of a different look, but that's completely up to your preference. Depending on which black you're using, you may need 2 coats. That's your call, but also keep in mind it doesn't have to be perfect because most of the black is going to be covered up. You'll want to get a regular clear polish to stick your triangles on. I'm using Sally Hansen Invisible. Generally speaking, quick dry top coats are not very sticky. And then with my triangles, I actually ended up doing 2 little containers. One I did kind of large pieces, and the other one I did kind of smaller pieces, just so I could keep them separated. And then the large pieces, I put some of them in another little container so that I could actually see what I'm working with, so that I'm not randomly grabbing shapes, because I'm kind of a perfectionist like that. So I'm just going to have those off to the side. You can use either like a wet orange stick or like a wax pencil, or I'm actually going to be using my little tweezers to pick them up. And let's zoom in a little bit here. Start out on my pinky. I'm going to apply a layer of the clear, and then I'm going to start out with the larger pieces and then fill in the gaps with smaller pieces. So you know, these tweezers are actually not as easy as I thought they were going to be. I'm having trouble picking up a piece here. But once you get a piece, here we go. Actually, this is way too big for my pinky. Let me grab a slightly smaller piece here. Okay, I'm officially ditching the tweezers and going to an orange stick. I'm just going to take the triangle and place it on my nail. Tap it down into that wet polish so that it stays down. And then I'm going to find another piece and line it up next to it. Leave a little bit of the black showing in between. And then basically continue to fill in with other pieces. And I'm not going to worry too much if I get some going over the edge like I have right there. You can trim those up when you're finished with either like a cuticle trimmer or a small pair of scissors. So I'm just going to continue building these on in kind of a mosaic pattern. I trimmed off any cellophane that was overhanging with a cuticle nipper, and now I'm going to add a layer top coat. As usual, I'm using Sèche Vite, and you want to make sure, you kind of saw me pressing them down as I went, but make sure that they're as flat as possible before you start adding top coat. And we'll just see when this is all finished. May end up needing to add a second layer just to get everything really smooth, but it's adding more shine also. Not sure if that's coming across on camera because it's all super, super shiny. But one note I would say is that the trimming process was kind of a pain in the butt. So when I do this again, I think I'm going to try harder to really fit them on the nail to start with, which if you have a lot of different sizes of triangles, shouldn't be a problem. I was just kind of being lazy about it and turned out to be more work in the end, which is a lot of times the case when you try to take the lazy way. So here is the finished look, and I like these a lot. Like anything, when you do it the first time, there's always going to be a little bit of a learning curve. Like I mentioned, I would try to avoid having any overhang the next time. Or what I did on my right hand was I did the first layer of top coat, which helped to hold the triangles in place, and then did the trimming. And I would definitely recommend 2 layers of top coat just to, it's not going to be completely smooth, but it's more smooth with 2. And let me just switch this out for a black background. I think that might give a little bit more pop of the colors. I also think I'd like to try this with slightly smaller triangles. For the first time, the big ones worked okay, but I think with smaller triangles, it would be a completely different look. maybe even do a look with them more overlapping, or a look using both of the colors of cellophane that I picked up. But let me know down in the comments what you think of this, if you've tried out this trend. And yeah, I like it a lot. I hope it wears okay. I do still have kind of a couple edges that I'm hoping don't get caught, but I'd like to keep this on for a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching.